Well, I figure there's two things we need to get out the way. Yes, I am that tall. I am 6'5", and I played basketball. So we're good. Well, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to come speak to you today. Classroom Central is near and dear to my heart. I would be considered one of those students that you would most likely have needed to help. I was a child in poverty. We started with everything, and then things started to decline over the years. My mom worked a full-time and a part-time job. She was taking care of our family as best she could. We always had a roof over our head. It may not have been our roof. Sometimes it was the motel's roof. Sometimes it was the shelter's roof, but there was always a roof there. I remember one day when the school called my mom to tell her that I did not have paper and pencils. My mom worked third shift, and she had to get up to bring me paper and pencils. I remember getting this notebook that I had never had before. It was so cool to me. It was one of those with the perforated edges that you have to tear out, and I didn't know how to tear it out, so one of my classmates had to show me how to do it. And I was so excited when I learned. I even remember getting on the bus and showing everyone how it worked, tearing out the paper and passing it to people. You can imagine when I got home and half the paper was gone, that did not go over too well. So that is my story growing up, and now I am a teacher. I was so excited to be back in fourth grade one year. I had set all of my paper packets out with the pencils and the crayons. Many teachers set out the basic things that students need, crayons, pencils on the first day. We want everybody to have the same starting point, so that's very important to us that they have what they need, because most students have to wait till mom or dad get paid before they get their school supplies. So in walks my new class, and I have this anxious, excited feeling. After a few days, I started to notice that one of my students had hygiene issues. My students started to know as well. They would politely come ask me to move them because of it. Well, I sent Carrie Ann to the counselor and nurse's office for assistance. The report came back that the family did not have running water. They were planning to pay their bill when Mom got paid. During the time, Classroom Central had toiletries. I remember packing a bag for Carrie Ann and putting it in the closet. I explained that this would be her bag when she needed to take care of herself. At any time, she could go into the closet, take what she needed, and leave out the room. She didn't need my permission. I knew where she was going. I also created a special backpack with school supplies for Carrie Ann, so she would always have what she needed for her classwork and her homework. 2 months later, during parent-teacher conferences, I met Carrie Ann's mother. She gave me appreciation for making sure Carrie Ann had everything she needed. She told me her situation. Her husband was sick, and she was the main breadwinner. But due to her own lack of education, she earned very little. She wanted the best for her daughter, but could not provide it. I could tell the sorrow in her voice. I told her how I grew up and let her know that Carrie Ann would remember how hard her mom worked and not how much she had materialistically. I assured her this from my own experience. Fast forward a few years down the line, I was serving at Crisis Assistance Ministry for my church. In line, I saw Carrie Ann's dad. He recognized me and was so happy. He told me how much a letter meant to him and his family. At the end of the year, I write my students a note to tell them how much I love them, to have a great summer, and to mention some of the achievements that they made. So this letter really impacted Carrie Ann's family. We talked about Carrie Ann and how she was doing. He tells me how much she means to him and his wife. He lowers his voice and says he was ashamed that they have not gotten much further than they had from years ago. He said he would do anything for his family and feels less like a man because he cannot provide them with the basics. We concluded our discussion, and he again thanked me for always looking out for his daughter and making sure she had what she needed. Now picture this 5 years later. I'm teaching high school, and who do I see walking down the hall but Carrie Ann? We hugged and talked, and the bell rang, and she moved on to her class, and I moved back to my classroom. Each day we speak when we see each other in the hallways. One day she comes to my room during planning and asks me, do I still have school stuff like I used to? I reply yes, and I ask her if she needs anything. And she tells me no, but I know who I can come to. In closing, I would like to say thank you for helping students like Carrie Ann and teachers like myself. In the interview for the video, I was asked, what would you like to tell the people that donate to Classroom Central? Something immediately popped in my head, but I changed my answer. As I drove home, I truly regretted that decision, but now I get the opportunity to make up for it today. I would like to tell you that I'm sorry, and I really wish you knew how sorry I was. I'm sorry that you do not get to see the impact that your time, money, and services provide. I am sorry that you do not get to see the relief on parents' faces when they know their child is taken care of. I'm sorry you do not get to see the things that the teachers buy for their own families because they don't have to spend their money on school supplies for their classrooms. And I'm sorry you don't get to see the joy on students' faces when they have everything that they need. I want you to think of a relay race and your generosity as the baton. When the gun goes off, you take your generosity and go. I mean Olympic-style running. Usain Bolt couldn't catch you if he wanted to. Okay? You pass your generosity off to Classroom Central. Classroom Central puts it into the hands of teachers at the schools. The teachers then pass the baton to the students. Now, the students may have some hurdles on their leg of the race, but because of your generosity that gave them a fantastic head start, they sail through the finish line. I am sorry that you will never feel that feeling of knowing they have crossed the finish line and being able to celebrate with them. But trust me when I say they cross. They cross because they have a community that cares and stands behind them. Thank you, and may God continue to bless you to give to Classroom Central.
There's a rumor going around that Michelle's mom, Shirley, is here. Is that true, Michelle? I think Shirley needs to be recognized with a round of applause because it's obvious Michelle Ellis was extremely well parented. Well, today you've heard why it is so important that teachers and students need our support. And so now we've come to the part of our breakfast where we're going to ask you to make a financial investment in the community where these children live. And this isn't just an investment in Classroom Central. As you've heard, it's an investment to ensure that we color a brighter future for our children. They want to learn, they want to succeed, they want to make their caregivers proud. All they need in so many cases is just the tools to do that. So if anything you've heard today from Karen and Michelle and on the video has touched you, if it's ignited something in you, we respectfully ask you to consider joining us and be a catalyst for change in our community. We're going to pass out the pledge cards in just a second, but just a couple of facts as table captains get those ready. Number one, the cost of today's event has been completely underwritten by our sponsors, so your contribution, every cent of it, will go directly to the mission of Classroom Central. Secondly, SunTrust Foundation is challenging each of us to commit to prepare every child for a bright future, and they've pledged to match every gift of $500 or more up to an amount of $25,000. Thank you, SunTrust Foundation. Now, if our table captains will please pass out the pledge cards. So at the top of the card, the pledge level names are meant to give you kind of a sense of what your contribution can do. The first giving level is called Enhancing Engagement, and it's a pledge of $1,000 a year for 3 years. That's about the cost of lunch out every week, or what many of us spend on the coffee drinks. Your gift today will support a teacher like Michelle with the tools her class needs for the entire school year. Thank you in advance for considering the Enhancing Engagement level. Up from that is the Building Relationships level. It's a pledge of $2,500 a year for 3 years. That gift will allow Classroom Central to provide 20% more kids in high-poverty schools with backpacks completely filled with the tools necessary to be good in school. The Building Relationships level, $2,500 a year for 3 years. The last level is Endowing Futures. It's a pledge of $5,000 a year for 3 years, and your gift in the Endowing Futures category will underwrite programs for an entire high school from now until 2020. Imagine the good that your dollars will do. So if you're committed to partnering with us at these levels, thank you for your generous support. We also respect that you may be at a different level at this time, so the next line is provided just for you. Just tell us how much you want to give and for how many years. And remember, all of your gifts of $500 or more will be matched dollar for dollar by the SunTrust Foundation up to $25,000. So regardless of how you choose to invest, monthly or annually or in a lump sum amount, the SunTrust Foundation can double your impact. We appreciate whatever level of support you can provide. We ask that you make the first payment on your pledge today. And perhaps you would also like to consider donating a stock, a corporate sponsorship, or even donating a gift of your time. Or if you simply have some great ideas for us, Classroom Central is all about hearing those as well. Just check that next box, the one that says, please contact me. I have other thoughts to share. And as you're filling out your gift card, please know that whatever you give, including a gift of your time, it is sincerely and respectfully appreciated by the Classroom Central folks, by the teachers, and most meaningfully by the kids in school. So when you're finished, please pass your envelopes back to your table captain. Thank you very much. It's been a joy to be with you this morning. And now I'd like to introduce Jenna Kelly, our board chair, to wrap this morning's breakfast up. Jenna.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. As Mick said, I serve as the board chair for Classroom Central. I'm also the Charlotte Region President for SunTrust Bank, and I'm here representing the SunTrust Foundation this morning as well. The SunTrust Foundation is honored to be part of this event and support this great organization because we believe Classroom Central's mission is directly aligned with our desire to help improve the well-being of the communities where we live and work. And we believe that Classroom Central can make the critical difference between success and failure for a student in the classroom. Thank you for taking the time to attend this 10th annual Color a Brighter Future breakfast. At Classroom Central, as you've heard today, we are committed to equipping students living in poverty with the tools they need to effectively learn. We do that by collecting and distributing free school supplies. But as you've also heard today, we are more than just a distributor of school supplies. We are an important conduit that connects students, teachers, families, and neighbors to help endow a bright future for our community. I hope you were inspired by the mission stories that you heard today. Thank you to our sponsors. Their names will be on the screen. Our table hosts, our event steering committee, Winding Springs Elementary School, and the Classroom Central staff for all the work you've done to make this morning such a success. Thank you all for being here today. I know you're all busy, and we appreciate you taking the time to come and learn more about our mission. I hope you all leave this event as a champion and an advocate for Classroom Central and for our community's students and teachers. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.